If you're a diehard Browns fan and love breaking down the game like we do, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you never miss a blitz. In a move that has left the NFL world completely stunned, the Cleveland Browns have reportedly executed a secret trade, sending veteran quarterback Joe Flacco to an undisclosed team, a deal that sources say was finalized behind closed doors in a flurry of last-minute negotiations. According to insiders who spoke under the condition of anonymity, the trade was not just unexpected but also strategically timed, catching even members of the Browns' own organization off guard. Flacco, who has had a roller coaster career since his Super Bowl winning days in Baltimore, now finds himself entering a new chapter that no one in Cleveland saw coming, raising countless questions about the Browns' long-term quarterback strategy. The secrecy surrounding the deal has fueled a storm of speculation, with fans, analysts, and even other NFL franchises scrambling to understand the motivations behind such a sudden shift. While the financial details remain undisclosed, rumors suggest that the Browns managed to secure multiple draft picks in return, signaling a clear intent to restructure their roster aggressively. The move comes at a time when Cleveland is trying to reconcile past disappointments with future ambitions, making this transaction not just a personnel change but a statement of intent. Industry experts are already weighing in on the implications for both Flacco and the Browns, with debates raging over whether this was a calculated masterstroke or a desperate gamble. Sources close to the negotiations have revealed that the discussions leading up to the Flacco trade were unusually intense, characterized by rapid-fire communication between team executives, agents, and rival franchises, all conducted under a veil of strict confidentiality. Flacco himself, according to multiple reports, was informed of the trade only hours before it was officially announced, leaving him with little time to process the news or mentally prepare for the sudden upheaval. This abruptness has sent shockwaves through the locker room, where teammates expressed a mixture of disbelief, sadness, and curiosity about the team's next moves. Social media erupted almost immediately after the leak, with fans speculating wildly about which team Flacco might join and what this means for the Browns' current quarterback depth chart. Analysts on sports networks are dissecting every possible angle, from salary cap implications to the potential domino effect on other teams' quarterback decisions. The secrecy, combined with the timing of the announcement, has fueled an almost conspiratorial atmosphere, as though the Browns had meticulously orchestrated a scenario where only a select few were in the know. Meanwhile, Flacco's performance history, marked by moments of brilliance tempered with inconsistency, is being revisited in light of this trade, prompting debates about whether his new team is taking a calculated risk or inheriting a volatile situation. The collective intrigue has elevated this story beyond a mere roster change, positioning it as one of the most talked-about moves of the NFL offseason. Reports indicate that the Browns management engaged in multiple late-night calls and closed-door meetings to finalize the Flacco trade, underscoring the high-stakes nature of the negotiation. According to insiders, the deal was driven not only by the team's desire to reshape its offensive strategy, but also by an underlying recognition that Flacco's role had become increasingly ambiguous within the roster's evolving dynamics. Sources close to the front office hint at intense debates over whether to maintain Flacco as a starter, rotate him in a backup capacity, or release him outright, with the final decision ultimately landing on the trade route as a way to maximize return value. Speculation now abounds regarding the unnamed team acquiring Flacco, with whispers suggesting that multiple franchises expressed interest, each hoping to capitalize on the opportunity to bring in a seasoned quarterback with playoff experience. The trade's timing is particularly curious, arriving just as preseason preparations are ramping up, leaving the Browns scrambling to reconfigure their quarterback lineup and adapt defensive schemes. Fans and commentators alike are dissecting every facet of the transaction, from potential locker room chemistry issues to the psychological impact on young quarterbacks currently on the roster. Beyond the tactical considerations, the trade has sparked debates about leadership and mentorship, as Flacco has long been regarded as a stabilizing presence in the locker room, someone capable of guiding less experienced players through the pressures of professional football. The overarching narrative, therefore, extends beyond the mere exchange of players, framing the trade as a pivotal moment that could define Cleveland's trajectory for seasons to come. The secrecy of the Flacco deal has prompted a frenzy of speculation surrounding the exact motivations behind the Browns' sudden action. Insiders report that financial considerations, including salary cap maneuvering and potential future contract extensions, played a significant role in the timing and structure of the trade. Analysts note that Cleveland may have been attempting to preemptively mitigate risk, exchanging Flacco at a moment when market demand was unexpectedly high, thereby ensuring maximum leverage in negotiations. Meanwhile, murmurs from various sports media outlets suggest that Flacco's own preferences may have influenced the proceedings, with the quarterback reportedly expressing a willingness to explore opportunities elsewhere, adding a layer of personal dynamics to an already complex situation. The move has led to heated debates on talk shows and fan forums about whether the Browns acted opportunistically or recklessly, balancing the potential benefits of acquiring draft capital against the possible destabilization of team morale. Rumors about the trade package being far more lucrative than initially reported have only amplified the intrigue, with conjecture swirling around potential first-round picks or conditional selections that could reshape Cleveland's long-term strategy. The narrative is further complicated by comparisons to other high-profile trades in NFL history, with commentators weighing Flacco's experience and leadership against the risks of moving him at this particular juncture. As the dust settles, the story continues to evolve, feeding a continuous cycle of rumor, speculation, and analysis. According to sources familiar with the situation, the Browns' decision to trade Flacco was also influenced by broader strategic objectives, including the pursuit of a younger, more dynamic quarterback capable of executing a high-octane offensive system. While Flacco's arm strength and playoff experience are undisputed, internal discussions reportedly centered on the desire to shift toward a more versatile, mobile signal caller, prompting management to reconsider Flacco's fit within the long-term vision. This revelation has ignited further debate, as some analysts argue that Cleveland may be sacrificing stability for potential, while others contend that the move demonstrates a bold commitment to future competitiveness. Meanwhile, the locker room impact cannot be understated, as veteran leaders who have relied on Flacco's presence for guidance must now adjust to his abrupt absence. The psychological dimensions of the trade, including the effect on team cohesion and morale, have become a focal point for insiders, who describe a mix of concern, curiosity, and cautious optimism among players. The speculation surrounding Flacco's destination adds yet another layer of intrigue, with multiple franchises rumored to be engaged in last-minute talks, each hoping to capitalize on his experience while navigating complex salary cap considerations. Experts continue to dissect every nuance, from playstyle compatibility to mentorship potential, framing the trade as a multidimensional puzzle with significant implications for both the Browns and the acquiring team. Ultimately, the secrecy and timing of the transaction have combined to create one of the most riveting storylines of the NFL offseason. Observers suggest that the Browns' maneuver reflects a larger trend in the NFL toward aggressive roster management and calculated risk-taking, with teams increasingly willing to make bold moves in pursuit of competitive advantage. The Flacco trade, with its combination of secrecy, timing, and potential long-term impact, exemplifies this approach, signaling that Cleveland is not afraid to make controversial decisions to reshape its identity. Analysts highlight the balance between immediate performance considerations and future planning, noting that the Browns appear to be positioning themselves to capitalize on both fronts. Meanwhile, social media has become a hotbed for fan reaction, ranging from disbelief and outrage to excitement and speculation about the team's strategic direction. The suddenness of the trade has sparked debates about leadership accountability and decision-making transparency, raising questions about how teams communicate major changes to both players and the public. Flacco's own reaction, reportedly measured but tinged with disappointment, has been dissected in interviews and insider reports, offering insight into the human element behind the headlines. As discussions continue, the narrative surrounding the trade expands beyond football, touching on organizational psychology, negotiation tactics, and the evolving culture of the NFL. The Browns' secretive approach has only fueled the story, turning a single roster move into a subject of endless analysis, debate, and speculation. Industry insiders indicate that the Flacco trade involved a web of complex negotiations, including conditional clauses, potential draft pick exchanges, and performance-based incentives designed to benefit both teams strategically. The intricacies of the deal reflect not only the financial stakes, but also the tactical foresight employed by Cleveland's front office, which appears determined to maximize value while minimizing risk. Observers have pointed out that such transactions often involve multiple layers of contingency planning, with management preparing for various scenarios depending on Flacco's performance, injury risk, and market reception. Rumors suggest that the Browns may have considered alternative trade partners before settling on the final arrangement, highlighting the fluidity and unpredictability inherent in NFL transactions. The level of secrecy surrounding the deal has prompted widespread speculation about the role of agents, advisors, and internal influencers in shaping the outcome, with insiders hinting at behind-the-scenes maneuvering that could rival the drama of a high-stakes poker game. Fans have been quick to theorize about potential destinations, weighing team needs, roster composition, and stylistic compatibility with Flacco's abilities. Meanwhile, the timing of the announcement has generated additional intrigue, coinciding with other roster developments that may have influenced the perception and reception of the trade. Taken together, these elements create a narrative that is as much about strategy, psychology, and market dynamics as it is about the simple exchange of a player. The market reaction to the Flacco trade has been immediate and intense, with betting odds, fantasy football implications, and team projections shifting almost overnight. Analysts highlight that the ripple effect of this deal could impact multiple franchises, influencing draft strategies, free agent movements, and even coaching decisions. Industry experts emphasize that Cleveland's approach, balancing secrecy, timing, and calculated risk, could serve as a template for future transactions, demonstrating the increasing sophistication of front office operations. Meanwhile, fans continue to speculate about Flacco's potential role in his new environment, debating whether he will serve as a mentor, starter, or transitional figure depending on team needs and strategic priorities. The media frenzy surrounding the trade has elevated it beyond a routine roster move, transforming it into a multi-layered story that encompasses financial, tactical, and human dimensions. Social platforms are abuzz with theories, commentary, and mock scenarios, reflecting the passion and investment of football audiences worldwide. Commentators dissect every available detail, from potential lineups to play-calling adjustments, while simultaneously pondering the long-term consequences for both the Browns and the team acquiring Flacco. This continuous cycle of rumor, speculation, and analysis has cemented the trade as a defining moment in the NFL offseason, setting the stage for ongoing discussion and debate. Sources close to Flacco indicate that the quarterback himself has expressed a mix of surprise, excitement, and apprehension about the trade, recognizing both the challenges and opportunities inherent in his sudden transition. Reports suggest that he has already begun considering how to adapt to new systems, teammates, and expectations, while simultaneously processing the abruptness of leaving Cleveland. Analysts highlight that such moves require not only physical preparation but also psychological resilience, as players must quickly integrate into new cultures and competitive environments. Meanwhile, the Browns are facing the dual task of managing internal morale and external perception, balancing the need to communicate the strategic rationale with the desire to maintain secrecy for competitive advantage. Observers point out that this dynamic illustrates the high-pressure, high-stakes nature of modern NFL management, where every decision carries both immediate and long-term consequences. As the narrative unfolds, speculation about Flacco's future performance, leadership impact, and potential career trajectory continues to dominate sports discourse. The convergence of secrecy, timing, and strategic planning ensures that the story will remain a central topic of conversation, with analysts, fans, and insiders alike following each development closely. Ultimately, the Flacco trade exemplifies the intersection of player agency, organizational strategy, and market dynamics, creating a saga that captures the imagination of the entire football community. The unfolding saga of Joe Flacco's secret trade has only intensified in the past hours, with insiders suggesting that the quarterback's departure from Cleveland could trigger a domino effect across the league. According to sources close to multiple front offices, teams are now reevaluating their quarterback depth charts and trade strategies in light of the Browns' unexpected move, recognizing that acquiring or losing a veteran of Flacco's caliber can shift both short-term game plans and long-term rebuilding trajectories. Analysts speculate that some franchises may have deliberately held back from making moves themselves, waiting to see how Cleveland's decision would reshape the market, while others may now accelerate negotiations to secure quarterbacks or supporting players before further ripple effects complicate the landscape. Meanwhile, the secrecy surrounding the trade continues to fuel speculation about undisclosed incentives, performance clauses, and conditional picks that could make this deal far more consequential than publicly reported. Social media has erupted with predictions, memes, and hypothetical matchups, creating a frenzy that mirrors the dramatic nature of the transaction itself. Fans, commentators, and former players weigh in with theories ranging from strategic genius to sheer recklessness, debating the broader implications for the NFL's quarterback hierarchy. The Browns' front office, according to sources, remains intentionally tight-lipped, allowing speculation to dominate narratives, while Flacco himself reportedly prepares mentally for a sudden immersion into a new playbook and team culture, fully aware that every decision in the coming weeks could define his next career chapter. The intrigue surrounding this trade demonstrates how a single move can capture the imagination of the entire football world, turning what might have been a routine transaction into a saga of drama, strategy, and uncertainty. Industry experts have pointed out that the Browns' secretive handling of the Flacco trade reflects a broader shift in NFL front office culture, where discretion and timing can yield advantages that go far beyond the immediate exchange of players. According to insiders, management deliberately orchestrated the announcement to coincide with a period of minimal media scrutiny, hoping to avoid leaks that could compromise negotiation leverage or disrupt locker room dynamics. Analysts speculate that this approach demonstrates a level of strategic foresight rarely seen outside championship-caliber organizations, positioning Cleveland to maximize both financial and competitive outcomes. Meanwhile, the market impact has been immediate, with multiple franchises suddenly reassessing the value of veteran quarterbacks in comparison to draft picks, performance projections, and team chemistry considerations. Social platforms have amplified this effect, as fans dissect every reported detail, scrutinize Flacco's past performances, and speculate about his potential fit in unnamed destinations. The psychological dimension of the trade is equally compelling, with teammates adjusting to the abrupt absence of a longtime leader while new players anticipate integrating into a shifting landscape. For Flacco, the move presents both opportunity and uncertainty, requiring him to rapidly adapt to a different offensive system while proving his ongoing value. Analysts emphasize that trades of this magnitude are rarely about immediate performance alone. They are calculated moves designed to shape narratives, influence perceptions, and exert long-term control over a team's trajectory. The Browns' maneuver, therefore, is not merely a roster adjustment, but a high-stakes game of strategic chess played under intense public scrutiny. Rumors emerging from multiple sources suggest that Flacco's trade could influence more than just quarterback hierarchies. It may also alter the Browns' offensive identity in ways that were previously unimagined. According to insiders, management is now considering tactical shifts that could see the team emphasizing speed, mobility, and unpredictability, effectively pivoting away from the traditional quarterback-centered structure that Flacco represented. Analysts speculate that young receivers, tight ends, and running backs could see expanded roles as a result, creating new dynamics on both sides of the ball. Meanwhile, the anonymous nature of the trade has fueled endless fan theories about which team Flacco might join, each conjecture sparking new debates about competitiveness, mentorship, and locker room chemistry. Sports media outlets have seized upon the secrecy, offering continuous speculation about potential draft picks involved, salary cap adjustments, and the long-term implications for Cleveland's organizational strategy. Former players have weighed in with opinions ranging from admiration for Flacco's professionalism to curiosity about how he will adapt to an entirely new system on short notice. Meanwhile, the Browns' coaching staff faces immediate pressure to restructure offensive plans, evaluate quarterback options, and maintain team morale in the wake of a sudden departure. Sources hint that the trade was timed with uncanny precision, reflecting both an opportunistic understanding of market demand and a calculated effort to mitigate internal disruption. As the story continues to unfold, the combination of strategic foresight, secrecy, and potential league-wide ramifications ensures that the Flacco trade will remain a central topic of NFL conversation for weeks, if not months, to come. Speculation about the exact nature of the trade package has intensified, with rumors suggesting that Cleveland may have secured not only draft picks, but also conditional clauses tied to Flacco's future performance, injury status, or team achievements. Sources indicate that these potential incentives could dramatically increase the trade's value over time, creating a multidimensional outcome that extends far beyond the immediate exchange. Analysts note that such structures are increasingly common in high-stakes NFL transactions, allowing teams to hedge risk while maximizing long-term strategic advantage. Meanwhile, social media users have compiled detailed timelines of Flacco's career, comparing potential fits with rumored acquiring teams and projecting performance outcomes under various coaching schemes. Commentators debate whether the Browns' approach represents calculated genius or reckless opportunism, while insiders hint at layers of negotiation involving agents, advisors, and other influencers whose involvement may never become public knowledge. The secrecy surrounding the deal has arguably enhanced its impact, as each revelation or leak sparks new waves of discussion, creating a narrative that feels as much like a suspense thriller as a sports transaction. Meanwhile, the practical implications for the Browns are immediate, with quarterback rotations, offensive strategies, and team chemistry all requiring rapid adaptation. Flacco, for his part, reportedly remains focused on preparation, recognizing that the next chapter in his career may define his legacy in ways that no single Super Bowl ring or playoff performance could. The trade, in this sense, becomes a microcosm of NFL dynamics, blending strategy, psychology, performance, and speculation into a story that captivates both fans and professionals alike. Enjoying the content so far? Smash that like button and drop your take in the comments. We want to hear what you think about the Browns this season. Insiders report that Flacco's reaction to the trade has been carefully measured, reflecting both professionalism and an understanding of the volatility inherent in professional football. Sources indicate that he is already evaluating playbooks, team culture, and potential starting opportunities, seeking to position himself as a valuable asset in his new environment. Analysts emphasize that such transitions are as much about mental adaptability as they are about physical skill, requiring the quarterback to quickly internalize systems, build rapport with teammates, and demonstrate leadership under pressure. Meanwhile, the Browns are reportedly focused on internal messaging, attempting to maintain morale while signaling to fans and the league that the move was strategically calculated rather than reactionary. Social media commentary continues to dissect every subtle signal, from Flacco's public statements to anonymous locker room insights, generating a continuous cycle of rumor and analysis. Observers suggest that this level of scrutiny is characteristic of trades involving veteran quarterbacks, particularly those with playoff experience and long-standing reputations. At the same time, speculation about Flacco's ultimate destination remains intense, with multiple franchises allegedly in discussions to acquire his services, each weighing competitive fit, mentorship potential, and financial implications. The ongoing narrative reflects the interplay of secrecy, strategy, and market dynamics, highlighting how a single trade can ripple across an entire league. Ultimately, the Flacco saga underscores the human, organizational, and speculative elements that make NFL transactions compelling far beyond the box score or stat sheet. According to insiders, the Browns front office viewed the Flacco trade as a rare opportunity to realign resources, maximize return on investment, and signal a broader commitment to a long-term rebuilding strategy. Sources suggest that internal discussions centered on the potential for a younger quarterback to take the reins, combined with the chance to acquire valuable draft capital that could shape the roster for years. Analysts note that this type of strategic thinking reflects a growing trend in the NFL, where teams are increasingly willing to make bold, sometimes controversial moves to accelerate competitive timelines. Meanwhile, the human impact of the trade cannot be ignored. Teammates, coaches, and staff have all had to reconcile the sudden absence of a long-term leader while simultaneously preparing for an evolving offensive structure. Rumors indicate that Flacco's professionalism and adaptability have been key factors in managing the transition smoothly, even under circumstances marked by secrecy and uncertainty. Social media remains ablaze with speculation, predictions, and hypothetical scenarios about team performance, locker room dynamics, and the league-wide impact of the trade. Analysts continue to weigh the strategic, financial, and psychological components, exploring how Cleveland's calculated risk might influence trends in player movement, negotiation tactics, and roster management in the NFL. As a result, the trade has transcended its immediate transactional nature, becoming a multifaceted story of ambition, speculation, and organizational strategy, capturing the attention of fans and professionals alike. Rumors now suggest that Flacco's new team could leverage his experience not just on the field, but also as a mentor to younger players, a dimension that may prove invaluable in high-pressure environments. According to insiders, coaches have already begun assessing how Flacco's presence might influence locker room culture, quarterback development, and offensive cohesion, while analysts debate whether such influence will be short-term or enduring. The secrecy surrounding the trade package, including potential performance-based incentives and draft pick contingencies, adds layers of complexity that fuel further speculation about Cleveland's long-term strategy. Social media platforms have become a forum for fans to hypothesize every possible scenario, from Flacco starting immediately to him serving as a transitional figure while grooming the next franchise quarterback. Meanwhile, the Browns' internal discussions reportedly focus on adjusting offensive schemes, evaluating backup options, and ensuring continuity in leadership, highlighting the multifaceted impact of a single high-profile trade. Analysts note that similar transactions in past seasons have often reshaped competitive balance across divisions, influencing everything from draft priorities to free agent targeting strategies. The interplay of secrecy, timing, and strategic calculation ensures that the story surrounding Flacco will continue to evolve, capturing attention across multiple layers of the sport, from tactical analysis to human interest narratives. As the NFL community watches, the trade serves as a masterclass in rumor, speculation, and calculated risk management, keeping fans, commentators, and insiders in a state of continuous engagement. Sources close to both teams involved hint at the possibility of additional, undisclosed agreements tied to Flacco's trade, including conditional draft picks and future roster considerations, elements that could significantly amplify the deal's impact over time. Analysts speculate that these hidden variables are part of a broader strategy by the Browns to hedge risk while optimizing long-term advantage, a move that reflects a sophisticated understanding of market dynamics, player valuation, and organizational positioning. Social media buzz has intensified as fans attempt to decode cryptic statements, leaked documents, and insider hints, generating a constant stream of theory and counter-theory. Meanwhile, Flacco reportedly remains focused on adapting to his new circumstances, studying playbooks, and integrating with teammates, a process that emphasizes the often overlooked mental and psychological components of professional football. Observers suggest that this combination of secrecy, speculation, and calculated strategy exemplifies the modern NFL's complexity, where every transaction carries multi-layered consequences and ripple effects. Analysts continue to evaluate potential long-term outcomes, considering everything from on-field performance to leadership influence, while also projecting the Browns' ability to leverage acquired draft assets effectively. The ongoing narrative surrounding Flacco underscores the intersection of player agency, organizational strategy, and market dynamics, demonstrating that a single trade can captivate, confound, and intrigue the football world simultaneously. The secrecy, timing, and strategic calculation have created a story that transcends routine roster management, transforming the Flacco trade into a multidimensional saga of rumor, speculation, and strategic maneuvering that will dominate discussion across the NFL for weeks, if not months. Thanks for riding with us on another Browns Blitz. If you liked the video, share it with a fellow fan, hit subscribe, and ring that bell so you're always part of the Dawg Pound conversation. Go Browns!